So moving from left to right across a period, melting point, boiling point density increases up to group 4A or 14, and then after group 4A up to group 17, melting point, boiling point, and density decreases. And it is and the melting point, boiling point, and density along a group. Moving from top to bottom along a group, melting point, boiling point increases as well as density. Okay. Melting point, boiling point, and density increases moving from top to bottom along a group. But this is the general trend, and there is a normal thing happen actually. But there is so many exceptional cases regarding this actually. What are the exceptional cases? Because we are talking about the general trend on the normal trend, but it is not actually because when we measure the density, melting point, boiling point, it is quite different from the observed value. It is quite different. The calculated value and the normal trend value is not same. So there is so many exceptional cases, and I can tell you one thing that the most hardest or most denser element in the periodic table is osmium or iridium. Osmium or iridium is the most hardest or rigid element in the periodic table, and the value of osmium and iridium is approximately 22.8 and 22.9 respectively. And next we come next point, that is oxidizing nature and reducing nature. Oxidizing and reducing nature. For that purpose, we need to use a board. I have some back problem, neck problem as well. So that's why I'm just sitting. And whenever there is requirement, I will write something on board. So see that period 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So when we move from period to borrow period 1, period 2, period 3, period 4, period 5, period 6, and so on. So if we discuss about, suppose we take group 1 in our 1, we have lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, and in period 7, calcium. So we'll observe one thing, that moving from lithium to calcium, number of valence shell increases. Number of valence shell increases means distance between the valence shell and the nucleus increases. So moving from moving from lithium to francium, number of shell increases, so distance between the valence shell and the nucleus increases. So that means if the distance between the valence shell and the nucleus increases, it means the valence shell electron are weakly held. So the energy is required. The energy is required to remove the electron for lithium. Less energy is required to remove the electron from sodium. More then lesser energy required for potassium, and when we move down the group, we'll observe that more and more or lesser energy is required to remove the electron. So from lithium, whatever the energy is required to remove the electron, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, francium, lesser energy required to remove the electron. It means what? Down the group, so removal of electron takes place. We will get Li plus, Na plus, A plus, Rb plus, Cs plus, Fr plus. So for that, so to remove the electron, the energy is required. This is called ionization energy. So whatever the ionization energy, so ionization energy value is least for cesium. We are not considering the francium because francium is not the regular element, it is the radium. You are the boss. যে ভিডিওটা পজ হয়ে গেছে কোনটা এই যে তাই মানুষ নেটে রান করছে দেখুন নেটে রান করছে দেখতে পাচ্ছি So the energy required to remove the electron from lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium. The least energy is required for cesium, and we know that removal of electron is called oxidation. So those elements undergoes oxidation, they reduces other. So they reduces other and itself is oxidized. So the phenomenon is called. So those elements which reduces other and itself is oxidized called reducing agent. So we can say that moving from top to bottom along a groove, moving from top to bottom along a groove, reducing property increases. Reducing property increases because the more we can easily remove electron, more easily remove electron from cesium rather than rubidium, potassium, sodium and lithium. So we can say that removal of electron for cesium, the energy required is least. So cesium most easily is oxidized and it can reduce other. So according to the definition of reducing agent, we can say that those element, those element which reduces other and itself is oxidized called reducing agent. So moving from top to bottom. স্পিকার লাগানো দরকার ভিডিও কি অফ করা নাকি আমরা এই ভিডিওটা এটা ওটা ঠিকমতো দেখা যায় না বলে মোবাইল ওটা আর এটা সাউন্ড তো এখান থেকেই কাজ করে ম্যাক্সিমাম সাউন্ড পাওয়া যাচ্ছে ভিডিও কি অফ করা এটা অফ করা আছে কেন তাহলে এই ভিডিওটা যাচ্ছে তো সেই ও আচ্ছা তাহলে কোনটা আমি এটা আমি এটা স্টুডেন্টদের দেখবেন আর ওটা হচ্ছে আমি বোর্ড পেজ দেওয়া আছে ঠিক আছে So moving from top to bottom along a groove, reducing property increases, and from left to right across a period, reducing property decreases, it means oxidizing property increases. So reducing property. So reducing property, moving from top to bottom along a groove, moving from top to bottom along a groove, reducing property increases, oxidizing property decreases, and from left to right across a period, reducing property decreases and oxidizing property increases. That's all for the periodic table. বাংলা মিডিয়ামটা কত হয়ে গেল বাংলা মিডিয়াম 240 করে দাও 40 করে That's all for the periodic table. If you have anything, ask me. You can ask me regarding the periodic table. Next, we start the chemical bonding. If you have any question regarding the periodic table, you can ask me. দেখো এখানে কিছু শোনা যাচ্ছে না কেন ছেলেদের কথা স্যার প্লিজ আনমিউট আস we are muted একবার সে মিউটেড অন করে আবার আনমিউট করে এই এই allow করে দিন আনমিউট
ওরা আনমিউট করতে পারে বলে দিচ্ছি।
Now you can unmute yourself. Now you can unmute yourself. So you want to ask anything regarding purity table, you can ask me.
Yes, sir. A question.
If you want to ask me anything regarding purity table, you can ask me.
Yes, sir. Why electron affinity of chlorine is greater than fluorine?
Why electron affinity of chlorine is greater than fluorine? So listen to me and you can write it. Okay, I just write some of the things regarding these things. I have to write. I have to write something on board. Just see that. All of you can write the answer. Why the electron affinity of chlorine is greater than fluorine? Electron affinity of chlorine greater than electron affinity of fluorine. Okay. So for that purpose, we need to know the period of chlorine and fluorine. Fluorine is in the chlorine. Fluorine is a period 3 element. Fluorine is a period 2 element. Okay. So both have a tendency to accept electron because both contain 7 electron in their outermost shell. Both contain 7 electron in their outermost shell. So to achieve octet, they need. So to achieve octet, both one need 1 electron. So both have a tendency to achieve octet and both have a tendency to accept electron. So when chlorine accept 1 electron, becomes Cl minus, achieve octet. Fluorine as well accept electron, become F minus, achieve octet. But after addition of 1 electron, in case of fluorine as well as in case of fluorine, repulsion occur for fluorine is more than fluorine, and the repulsion is known as electronic repulsion. Why the repulsion is more? Because chlorine is the period 3 element, fluorine is the period 2 element. So size of chlorine is more than fluorine. So when 1 electron is added in both the elements, due to bigger size, electronic repulsion for fluorine occur to a lesser extent, whereas fluorine is smaller in size. So by addition of electron, that is all, repulsion occur to a higher extent. So, if we compare where the more repulsion takes place, we can say that in case of chlorine, repulsion occur less as chlorine is bigger in size. So to minimize the repulsion, the tendency to accept electron and to achieve octet, fluorine is less compared to chlorine. ক্লাসে আছি, পরে কথা বলছি। If you have any doubt, then you can ask me. Again, I repeat. Fluorine and fluorine both contain 7 electrons in their valence shell or outermost shell, and both need 1 electron to না, এক্ষুনি তো কথা বললো তো। Again, I repeat that fluorine and chlorine both are group 17 element, but chlorine is in the period 3 and chlorine is in the period 2. Both need 1 electron to fulfill octet. Both will accept 1 electron. After addition of 1 electron, both achieve octet, and in both the elements, the electronic repulsion takes place. But the electronic repulsion occur for fluorine is more than chlorine because fluorine is smaller in size and fluorine is bigger in size. That factor, that is electronic repulsion of fluorine is more than chlorine, that factor just give the advantage to the chlorine. That's why chlorine has a more tendency to accept electron compared to fluorine, although electronegativity of fluorine is more than chlorine. This is the answer of that question. Now you can ask me anything regarding periodic table.
স্যার অ্যাসিডিটি আর বেসিসিটির ট্রেন্ডটা বলুন না।
You just ask me the acidic trend, basic trend, acidic strain, basic strain. Before starting this acidic strain, basic strain, I want to tell you one thing that according to the whatever written in the book, all these things are all these things on the basis of in general. That means on the basis of we consider all the elements. It is we not considering the specific element. This acidic strain, basic strain, they follow a general trend actually, but there is so many exceptional cases regarding the periodic table. So I will tell you the normal trend, that is moving from left to right across a period. So across a period or along a period, along a period, along a period, as the non-metallic character increases or metallic character decreases, so it favors that the element will have acidic property more and more when we move from left to right across a period. It means the very simple, moving from left to right across a period as non-metallic character increases, metallic character decreases. So acidic character increases moving from left to right across a period, and we can say that it is in general. It is in general. So in general, moving from left to right across a period, acidic property increases, basic property decreases. This is the in general trend. And along a group, along a group, along a group, along a group, moving from top to bottom, along a group, we'll observe that metallic character increases. As metallic character increases, that favor the basic property. So in other words, we can say moving from top to bottom along a group, metallic character increases. That is basic character increases and acidic character decreases. But there is so many anomalies. There is so many exceptional cases. We will observe there is so many exceptional cases. So one exceptional case, I can tell you one exceptional case. Group 3A or 13. Group 3A or 13. If we talk about group 3A or 13, that is period 2, period 3, period 4. Okay. So group 3A 13 start with boron, then aluminium, then gallium. So the normal trend is that moving from top to bottom along a group, atomic size should increase. So from boron to aluminium, atomic size increases. Atomic size increases. But from aluminium to gallium, atomic size decreases. So we are not following the general trend, or general trend is not followed at all. So from boron to aluminium is the general trend. Atomic size increases, metallic character increases, ionization potential decreases, electron affinity decreases. But from aluminium to gallium, atomic size decreases. So as atomic size decreases, so compare the size between aluminium and gallium. Gallium, it is very difficult to remove electron from gallium. So if the element having facing the difficulty that to remove the electron. So gallium possesses less metallic character compared to aluminum because atomic size atomic size of gallium is less than atomic size of aluminium. So moving from aluminium to gallium, atomic size decreases. So as atomic size decreases, we face a lot more difficulty to remove electron from gallium. That's why the metallic property of gallium is lesser than aluminium. It is the exceptional case. It's not follow the general trend. As metallic character decreases for gallium, it means non-metallic character increases. So if you measure the electronegativity value between aluminium and gallium, we will see that electronegativity value of aluminium is less, whereas electronegativity value of gallium is more. Electron affinity of gallium should be more than aluminium. So it is one of the exceptional case. It will not follow the general trend. Okay.
গ্রামের থেকে গ্যালিয়াম কম কেন?
কম কেন হচ্ছে? Just open your book and see the periodic table. All of you open your book. All of you open your book and see the periodic table. Group 1, then group 2, then we have group 3, group 3 to 10, then we have group 3 to 12, sorry. Then we have group 13, 14 and so on. So we say that this is called S block element. The group 1 and 2 are called S block, and group 13 to 18 elements are called P block, and group 3 to 12 they are called D block. Okay, let's see that if we write period 2, period 3, period 4, then we will obviously observe that in period group D start from period 4. So here in period 4 that is scandium and there is zinc. This scandium to zinc. In period 4 the D block there is group 3 to 12 there is scandium to zinc. After scandium to zinc, then in period 2 that is boron, then there is aluminium, then gallium. Okay. So let's see that in period 3 there is no D block element, there is no transition element. Okay. But transition elements start from period 4. Okay. So in period 4 we have the elements like in group 1. One is potassium and another one is calcium. So when we move from potassium, calcium, then gallium, we have to come across 12 elements more. So moving from scandium to 10 elements more, moving from scandium to zinc, 10 elements. So moving from scandium to zinc, 10 elements means positive charge increases by 10 unit. Positive charge increases by 10 unit from scandium to zinc. And now you have to write one thing. It is very important that D and F orbital are diffused in shape, whereas S and P orbital are much more rigid. So it is from the origin that D and F orbital are diffused. So one can easily penetrate. One can easily penetrate the D and F orbital. So moving from scandium to zinc, D orbital possesses the diffuse in character. It means they have a less penetration power. D and F orbital are diffused in shape. They have a less penetration power, whereas S and P orbital are more rigid. They have a more penetration power. So we can write the penetration order. Penetration order S greater than P. greater than D, greater than F. So here we observe that scandium and zinc 10 d elements present, that is 10 electron present. So moving from scandium to zinc, atomic number increases by 10 unit, electron is also increases by 10 unit. Okay, and as we mentioned that the D and F orbital are diffuse in shape, they have a less penetration power, and also S and P orbital have a more penetration power. Okay, and there is another order of SPDF orbital is that shielding or spinning order. Shielding and spinning order is also same. Shielding or spinning order, S orbital greater than P orbital greater than P orbital greater than F orbital. So we observe that D orbital penetration shielding power or spinning power is less. That means shielding or spinning means repulsion, one kind of repulsion. Shielding or spinning means one kind of repulsion. They will repel less. Suppose there is outermost electron present and the electron or the inner electron, so they will repel the outer electron to less strongly. Whereas the S electron, P electron repel the outer electron more strongly because d orbital spinning or shielding power is less compared to S and P. So from scandium to zinc, atomic number increases by 10 unit. So positive charge increases by 10 unit. It means nuclear charge. Nuclear charge is also increases by 10 unit. But when the electron present in d orbital, the shielding, spinning or repulsion power per electron sigma is 0.85. Again I repeat that when the electron present in d orbital, their shielding or spinning or repulsion power per electron is 0.85. So in d orbital 10 electron present, so repulsion 0.85 into 10 it is 1.5. So see that moving from scandium to zinc, positive charge, that is nuclear charge, increases by 10 unit, but electron number of electron is also increases by 10 unit. But when these electrons are present in d orbital, they are less strongly repel the valential electron. So we can say that the repulsive power or repulsive power or the shielding or spinning power increases for 10 electron is 8.5. So net effective nuclear charge or net nuclear charge, that is indicated by Z effective, it is called net nuclear charge. Net nuclear charge. Z effective is called net nuclear charge. That means due to the increase of the number of proton, the nucleus, the shell, the nucleus attract the valence shell. Okay, so number of proton increases within the nucleus, so they attract the valence shell electron toward itself. Whereas the number of electron increases, and when the number of electron present in d orbital, there is also repulsion. So from nucleus there is some attraction, and from inner shell, the outer shell feels some repulsion. Again I repeat, what are two kind of forces acting on the valence shell electron on the outer electron? One, that is attractive force from nucleus, and one repulsive force from the inner electron. Just see this diagram. This is nucleus. Suppose this electron is the valence shell. This electron is the valence shell. So it is called nth shell. It is called n minus 1 shell, and it is called n minus 2th shell. So this is nucleus. This is electron present. There is also electron present. So this is the outer or valence shell electron, and this outer or valence shell electron feel attraction from the nucleus. But these inner two electron, one is inner electron, another is inner electron, they repel. So this is called electronic repulsion. electronic repulsion. Let's see the diagram. From nucleus, this valence shell or outer electron feel attraction, and from inner electron it will feel the electronic repulsion. Attraction is why? Due to the increase of number of proton, 10 unit. Repulsion why? Because number of electron increases by 10 unit. So attraction increases for 10 proton is 10, but the repulsion, that is due to the presence of this inner electron. This inner electron repel the outer electron. That repulsion is not increases by 10 unit because the inner electron are present in d orbital. So per d orbital electron repulsion is 0.85. For 10 electron it is 8.5. So total attractive force is 10. Repulsive force is 8.5. Total attraction and total repulsion is not same. That means the attraction and repulsion are not counterbalance. So yeah, attractive force is dominate over the repulsive force. So that's why this attractive force is dominate over the repulsive force by 10 minus 8.5, it is 1.5. So this attractive force is dominate over the repulsive force by 1.5 times. That's why moving from calcium to gallium, when we reach calcium to gallium, there is sudden introduction of d block. Moving from calcium to gallium, you see that in period 3 we have sodium, we have magnesium, but from magnesium to aluminium there is no d block element or transition element. But moving from calcium to gallium there is 10 d block element present, as d block have less repulsive power or less shielding or screening effect. That's why the attractive force is dominant over the repulsive force, and that net 1.5 time attractive force is suddenly felt by gallium. That's 1.5 times the net attractive force is suddenly felt by gallium. So moving from aluminium to gallium, instead of increasing of atomic size decreases, and this phenomenon is called transition contraction. This phenomenon is called transition contraction. Transition contraction. So this is the reason from boron to aluminium atomic size increases, but from aluminium to gallium atomic size decreases, and the phenomenon is called transition contraction because this contraction in size takes place due to the presence of transition element. Again, I repeat, from boron to aluminium atomic size increases, but from aluminium to gallium atomic size decreases because due to the sudden introduction of the d block element, is a decrease of the atomic size takes place, and this is known as transition contraction. Do you have any doubt? Again, you can ask me.
So what is diagonal relationship?
শুনতে পাচ্ছি না, জোরে বল।
The diagonal relationship কি?
Diagonal relationship. So we observe that this diagonal relationship, আমি একটু বসছি হ্যাঁ বেশিক্ষণ দাঁড়ালে আমার ঘাড় আর পিঠ ব্যথা করে। তো আমি বলছি এবার শোন, ডায়াগ্রামটা ড্র করে নিচ্ছি। Period 2 consists lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon. Period 3 consists sodium, magnesium, aluminium, and silicon. Okay, and we just put a diagonal draw. It is lithium, magnesium, beryllium, aluminium, and boron and silicon. Although lithium and magnesium, they are in different period, they are in different group. Beryllium and aluminium, they are also in different group. Boron and silicon, they are also in different group. Although they are in different group, but they show similarity in properties. And that property is called diagonal relationship. Why? Why the property is similar? There is a term which is known as phi. There is a term we use to say phi. Phi is called ionic potential. Phi is called ionic potential. Ionic potential phi is equal to ionic charge divided by ionic size. Ionic charge by ionic size. So this phi, ionic potential, this relation is applicable only for cation. So this is phi for cation. So phi for cation equal to ionic charge by ionic size. Okay. So just see that here, lithium, if release one electron, it will have unipositive charge. And magnesium contain 2 electron, its valence shell. So if it release 2 electron, it will have dipositive charge. So with respect to charge, magnesium charge is more than lithium. So obviously in terms of charge, phi of magnesium should be greater than lithium. So again I repeat that in terms of charge, phi of magnesium greater than phi of lithium. Fine. Now in terms of size, lithium is period 2, magnesium is period 3. Lithium is the group 1 element, so among period 2 element, lithium is biggest in size. Except the inert gases, lithium is the biggest size element in period 2, and magnesium is the second element in period 3. So its size is slightly decreases, but what happens that magnesium size is also more than the lithium. So in terms of size, magnesium size is also greater than lithium, because for magnesium 3 shells are present, for lithium 2 shells are present. So ionic charge and ionic size for magnesium both are more than lithium. So if you want to find the ratio, after calculating the ratio, we will find that the ratio of ionic charge and ionic size of lithium and magnesium close to same, or they almost having the same value, because ionic charge lithium is less, ionic size lithium is less, so it will bear a constant value. Similarly, ionic charge of magnesium is more, ionic size of magnesium is more, so it will obviously follow a constant value, and that constant value, that is called phi. Phi is lithium and magnesium. Phi for lithium and magnesium is same. That's why they are showing the similarity in properties, and that thing is also applicable for beryllium and aluminium, and that phenomenon is also applicable for boron and silicon, as they possess the same ratio of ionic charge and ionic size value is same. That's why although they are in different group, they having the same ionic potential. That's why their properties are similar. That's why they show similarity in properties. Again, I repeat that the phi, that is the ratio of ionic charge and ionic size, is same or almost same for two different elements which are present in two different groups. That's why they show similarity in properties due to the ionic potential. Next. Next, you want to know anything? If you ask me, you can ask me anything more than that. Your doubt is cleared. There is no doubt regarding periodic table. So shall we proceed?
Sir.
Yes,
Ball,
sir.
jode ball, jode.
Yes, sir.
The
Yes, sir.
Ab doubt
Yes.
nahi to.
Sir, along the
हाँ?
sir, along the group 15 height
জোরে বল,
drive.
জোরে বল, শুনতে পাচ্ছি না।
Sir, along the group 15 height
Huh?
drive, which is sir, along the group 15 height drive.
তুই লেখ না, লিখে পাঠা না, আমি বুঝতে পারছি না তোর কথাটা।
আচ্ছা
লিখে পাঠা, আমি বুঝতে পারছি না তোর কথা। আমি শুনতে পাচ্ছি না।
শিবেন্দু আরেকবার বল, আমরা বলে দিচ্ছি।
কোনটা? টাইপ করে বল।
sir,
হ্যাঁ,
along the group 15 height drives,
along the
group 15 height drives, ওই
কোনটা?
group 15 height drives, nitrogen
কোশ্চেনটা লিখে পাঠা না, লিখে টাইপ করে পাঠা।
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা
শুনতে পাচ্ছি না তোর কথা ভালো করে।
ঠিক আছে ঠিক আছে along the group 15
এই সাউন্ডের থেকে বেশি জোরে বল।
বলছে along the group 15 hydrides.
along the
গ্রুপ 15 হাইড্রাইডস।
হ্যাঁ, সেটা কি বলবো?
তারপর তো শুনতে পেলাম না কি বললো।
along the group 15 hydrate কি বলবো সেটা তো বলতে হবে, নাহলে আমি কি করে বলবো?
আরে ধাত বাবা শিবেন্দু, আরেকবার বল না।
টাইপ করে লেখ, টাইপ কর, টাইপ করে লেখ। Transition element from color compound, but why not scandium plus 3?
আরে পয়জন না ইনু আরে ঠিক আছে বাবা, তো স্যারকে লিখে পাঠাচ্ছি ভাই। ওডেন বৈষ্ণবী দিল উইং,
Scandium,
স্যার বললো বেশি জেনে গেছে। কোশ্চেন
argon, 4s2 3d1. This is the electronic configuration. This is the electronic configuration of scandium, argon, 4s2 3d1. And he asked me that why Sc plus 3 is not color. So if Sc become plus 3, it means to remove these 3 electrons. Sc plus 3 means we remove the electron present in 4s, we remove the electron present in 3d. So there is no electrons present in 3d orbital. And what is the meaning of transition? So Sc plus 3 means no electron present in 3d orbital. What is the meaning of transition? Transition means electron will jump from lower energy to higher energy or higher energy to lower energy. That means suppose An element present is here and an element present here. So we supply some energy from outside, so it will jump here. So this type of jumping from one energy level to another energy level is called transition. So when we have একটা মানে একটু হাই লেভেলের জিনিস বলবো, যদি বুঝতে যদি অসুবিধা না হয় তাহলেই বলবো, নাহলে বলবো না। একটা জিনিস আছে যেটা আমি বলতে গেলে, এই ট্রানজিশন বলতে গেলে I need to say these things actually. If you have no doubt, আমি তাহলে বলতে পারি, একটু হাই ফান্ডা জিনিস আছে, আমি সেটা বলে দিচ্ছি। বলবো বলবো কি?
স্যার বলুন, বুঝি আর না বুঝি শুনি তো।
আরে বাবা, এটা কে বলছে? এটা কে? গলাটা বেশ সুন্দর। এটা কে? সিনজয়। There is two set of d orbital. There is two set of d orbital. One is called T2G, another is called EG. T2G কেন? এখানে তিনটে সাবশেল আছে। What are they? DXY, DXY, DYZ, DZX, এটা D এর সাবশেল। তো ফোকাস করো। DXY, DYZ, DZX. These are the subshell of D. D এর আরো দুটো সাবশেল আছে। DX2 minus Y2, DZ2. Okay, so there is two set. T means triplet. T means triplet. ওটা তিনটে সাবশেল আছে। T means triplet, তিনটে সাবশেল আছে। আর E মানে বলছি আমরা ডাবলেট। T means triplet, তিনটে সাবশেল আছে। G মানে হচ্ছে জেরার্ড। জেরার্ড does it indicate Steven Gerrard? G doesn't mean Steven Gerrard, it is only Gerrard means symmetrical, মানে সমান, মানে ধরে এরকম মাঝখান দিয়ে দুটো টুকরো করলে সমান জিনিস পাবো। ওকে, and E means doublet, দুটো সাবশেল আছে। E means doublet and again G means Gerrard. So if electron jump from here to here, if electron jump from P2G to EG, it is called electronic transition. So if there is no electron, that is the electron, if there are electron present here, so electron can jump from here to here, and for that purpose this electron needs some energy. So if you apply energy from outside, electron will jump from P2G to EG. This is called electronic transition. For Sc+3, no d electron, no electron present in d orbital. So for Sc+3 there is no electron present in the d subshell. For Sc+3 no electron present in the d subshell. It means for electronic transition no electron present that will move from T2G to EG. Etao phaka. T2G is empty, EG is also empty. So there is no electron present in T2G that will jump from T2G to EG. So there is no transition occur as d orbital is completely empty when it is Sc+3. And there is another question that was asked by Shivendu Nath. Sir, along the group 15 hydride, which one is most poisonous as why? কটার সময় ওদের বাংলা থেকে 40 বলা হয়েছে।
আনসারটা কি আর্সেনিক হাইড্রাইড?
Group 15, nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony, bismuth. It is NH3, CH3, ASH3, SBH3, DIH3. It is arsenic in the form of hydride is most poisonous because arsenic is the less abundant, and there is a doubt regarding that. আমার নিজেরও একটা doubt আছে, ammonia is also quite poisonous but not that kind of. So arsenic is quite the poisonous element among the group 15. Nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony, bismuth. Among these, arsenic is the most poisonous element in group 15. So when it form a compound like arsenic hydride, in which there is a dominancy of arsenic is more, so that's why this dominancy observed in the arsenic hydride. That's why arsenic hydride is the most poisonous among this group 15 hydride. Okay. Anything more?
Sir, but answer is written SBH3. Answer is written SBH3.
এই ওদের কথা শোনা যাচ্ছে না।
স্যার বলছে SBH3 পয়জনাস বেশি।
SBH3 কোথায় লেখা আছে?
বইতে।
কোন বই?
আকাশের বই।
আকাশ?
হ্যাঁ।
আকাশের বইটা তো এনসিইআরটি থেকে কপি করা, বুঝেছো?
স্যার কেন ASH3 আর্সেনিক হাইড্রাইড পয়জনাস বেশি কেন?
কোনটা আর্সেনিক?
হ্যাঁ, আপনি বলছেন কেন?
সেটাই তো আমি বলছি যে আর্সেনিক ইজ দ্য মোস্ট পয়জনাস এলিমেন্ট among nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony, bismuth. So whenever it will form any kind of compound, some kind of poisonous property is been observed by the compound formed by arsenic. Whereas this is stevia, this is antimony. Antimony is not a, it is quite antimony is not frequently used metal actually. Antimony is actually a metalloid, so it can have a basic as well as acidic property. Whereas arsenic and antimony both are showing amphoteric in nature. Amphoteric. We are saying that arsenic and stevia both showing amphoteric nature, and whereas stevia is more metallic, whereas arsenic is metalloid. Arsenic is metalloid and stevia is metallic. So arsenic, in which it form the hydride, it will quite sort of amphoteric in nature, and in arsenic hydride the most property of arsenic is being observed in arsenic hydride. That's why arsenic hydride is more poisonous compared to stevium hydride.
Okay sir.
আর তুই যখন বললি স্টিভিয়াম হাইড্রাইডটা বেশি পয়জনাস আকাশের বইতে বলা আছে, তো আমি আবার বাড়িতে গিয়ে একবার চেক করবো, কারণ আমারও ভুল হতে পারে। আমি তো সব, আমি এমন না যে আমি সব জানি, আমিও কেমিস্ট্রি শিখছি, তো আমি তাহলে একটু বাড়িতে গিয়ে দেখবো যে আমার কোথাও কোথাও আছে কিনা, আমি একটু বাড়িতে গিয়ে দেখি, তাহলে আই উইল টেল ইউ নেক্সট উইক। ঠিক আছে?
ওকে স্যার।
তো এখানে আমি এটা শেষ করছি, এবার বাংলা মিডিয়ামের ক্লাস শুরু হবে, তো ক্লাস এখন শেষ করতে হবে। নেক্সট দিন আমরা কেমিক্যাল বন্ডিং শুরু করবো। কারো ডাউট থাকলে, কেমিক্যাল বন্ডিং তোরা সবাই জানিস তো নাকি? Vicky sir, you know about chemical bonding? Vicky sir. Vicky sir, are you listening? Vicky sir. Chandrajit Adhikari. Tell me something regarding chemical bonding. Chandrojit, tell me something regarding chemical bonding. বল, ওরকম হাসলে হবে, বল। বল, একটু বল শুনি। কোথায় শুনতে পাচ্ছি না তো তোর কথা।
Sir, his mic is not working.
বল কিছু, আমি তো শুনতে পাচ্ছি না কথা। আমি তো বলছি আমার মাইক হয়তো কাজ করছে না। ওকে, Nilarun Basu. Nilarun Basu,
Yes,
tell
sir.
me something regarding chemical bonding. Nilarun,
Okay. Yes, sir.
tell me something regarding chemical bonding. Chemical bonding নিয়ে কিছু বল। What is chemical bonding? Why the bond is formed? The question is what is chemical bonding? Or what do you mean by chemical bonding? Why the bond is formed? What is the driving force to form compound? বল দেখি।
So there are three types of chemical bonding which help to create ionic or covalent molecules. They are covalent bond, coordinate covalent bond, and ionic bonding, of which ionic bonding
Coordinate covalent bond and
ionic bonding.
ionic bond.
Yes. And
What
most
is
of the atoms-
coordinate covalent bond?
Coordinate covalent bond is a bond which helps in which an atom donates one or more of its electrons to another atom.
Okay, I will got you. If people know regarding chemical bonding, তাহলে chemical bonding আমাকে একটা ক্লাসেই শেষ হয়ে যাবে, অসুবিধা নেই। I will finish the chemical bonding within a class. একটা ক্লাসেই আমি chemical bonding শেষ করে দেব। ওকে, নেক্সট উইক দেখা হবে। chemical bonding টা একটা ক্লাসে শেষ করে দিয়ে we will proceed to the next chapters.
এটা সম্ভব?
বন্ধ করে দিন।